Affirm to yourself more. Don't move none of this. No, close this down and go within and say, I am the greatest ... ever. I have all my needs coming with speed. I am a being of love and light and knowledge. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Whatever it is, have your affirmation on your tongue, or in your being. This is how the gods created this whole reality. The first humans, imagine, the first humans, they came from inner space. They came out. Study the Anunnakis. They came out of inner space. Not from outer space, inner space. Rockstar. Before there was a body, there was this voice traveling in this voice's dimension. To get here to the earth, the inner voice created this outer extension of itself to be in this dimension. Once you realize that you are not just in this dimension, but you're also in another dimension, you now are free. Because whatever happens to you here in this dimension is not your only reality. See, this is how Jesus was able to get beaten and brutalized and hang on the cross. He wasn't here. He was the rock star. Inside, he went to the inner man. Do what you want with the body. I'm not here. Now, once you realize that level of consciousness, where you are officially, you identify yourself as the spirit, not the flesh. You are the inner voice, not the outer voice. Once you become the inner voice, now your outer voice has power. Now when you speak, it's not just a shell speaking. There's a being speaking through the shell. And this is where you heal all sickness in your body. This is where you command reality to work with you, and it works according to your consciousness. Why? Because it's not a shell that's speaking. There's a real being in the shell that is speaking. And when the real being speaks, all nature and the universe responds. People are realizing now that your environment is way more important than even your culture. That the environment you're in, your genes are responding to the environments that you're in. Imagine that. That everything you do as a human, there's a tiny
What's up, everybody? Peace. Welcome to another episode of the Truth Tuesday show with your host, Hakeem L, here on Hindsight Radio, the information station changing the nation. And I hope everybody's doing good. Me and the family, we're doing great. We just came back from New York, the annual barbecue or cooking. All right, there we go. Something happened. Music is slowing down. What is going on? Let me turn that off. Can y'all hear me? Things are acting a little funny over here. Like my music sounded all whiny. Let me go fix that. Let's just stop it. Yeah. How we doing out there? Can y'all hear me pretty good? Matter of fact, I could just go over here. Can y'all hear me pretty? Yeah, y'all can hear me. And my backup back there can tell me. All right, we went to the annual cookout at my business partner Ahmed. We had a very good time. We all went. Had a blast as usual. It's a good event, yearly event that he throws. I mean, they put a lot into it. A lot of food, a lot of effort, a lot of time. All of his family, friends. I'm just thankful that he considers me a friend, and I come to his home yearly. And thank you for the hospitality. It's good. One of the things I cherish the most is not a lot of friends. All I need is 1, 2 good friends. That's it. You know, I'm always leery when I see people that say they have a lot of friends. I know a lot of people. I'm friendly with a lot of people, but you know, when you have people you could just call friends, someone is really good. That's a small circle. I got people that I look to that I could say are good people that I would want them to be in my company. That's a handful that I could say that about. This is a small few. And the reason why I say that is by their actions, the things they do. You know, they're not trying to use my time for their own selfish needs. They know I have a lot of information, so they respect my time. You know, a lot of people come in under the guise, "Hey, how you doing?" And then they have all these smiles and things like that going on, and they really just want something from you. They want to extract your energy, extract the information out of your head. But that's not the case with this brother, his family, good people, and there's other people that I haven't mentioned that I feel the same way about. Thanks again, brother, for inviting my family and all right. Something keeps muting every time I touch something over there. But anyway, today I'm gonna talk about the IRS publication 908 bankruptcy discharge. That's the instructions on how to discharge in a bankruptcy. And it's some interesting things that's in there. And I remember when I first got into this information, that was a big thing where people were trying to go into bankruptcy and try to discharge their debt through a Chapter 11. And now when I'm reading this, I can see a lot of things they didn't get right, you know, just by reading the instructions, the information. But first, let me go in. Let me just first give thanks to the ancestors, the divine mastermind that give me these words to say. And I ask tonight that, as always, you deliver and give me the words that I need to say that may encourage people or encourage someone, or it could just be one person that needs to hear it. It have to be a group, everyone that needs to hear exactly what I'm about to say. I opened up the show by playing KRS-One, that video. And thanks again, Steve put me onto that a while back. I've heard that snippets of it years ago, but not the whole speech, not the length of the speech that he shared with me. And thank you. That's another person I could speak to that I would say is a friend. Dedicated, supporter of everything I do. Him and his wife, Corinne, who's always on faithfully. And Boo, by the way, has a social media channel. Check her out. Corinne, why don't you put your social media information in the chat so people can know who you are. Follow her. She's talking. Her language is positive, encouraging people to change their consciousness. But back to what I was saying about KRS-One. He was talking about the true you, who you really are. Now, it's funny, he talks about this multi-dimensional beings. And see, when you come to a certain level of awareness about self, you will come to the same conclusions that KRS-One came to, others have come to. I came to the same conclusion years ago. I probably about 6-7 years ago. I came to the conclusion that we are multi-dimensional beings, that we are living in multi-dimensions all at the same time. Everything is happening all at once. Right now, in this current dimension, the 3D dimension, I'm aware of this right now. But then there's a time where I might, hold on, let me take a sip, because I need the ancestors to give me this right. Because right now, they're in our ancestors that are past, our family members that are past, they're on another dimension right now. They are not with us on the 3D dimension. They're on a whole nother dimension, still living and enjoying life. You just currently in this dimension are not aware of them. Because this dimension, this form is all about the physical stimulation. The level of existence that we're on here is all about physical pleasures and enjoying that. And also, let me take this sip. This existence is about mastering self, physical stimulus, mastering those physical pains, those things we call problems. That's what it's about. This is what we're here to master. This, if you look at the whole level of our existence and how we live in this 3D dimension, it's all about challenges and overcoming and this and that. Even our movies, it's got a protagonist and an antagonist. It's all about struggles. This is what, that's why the videos that that are most watched is about struggles. Watching people overcome, because on this level of existence, that's what our job is. That's why you're like a moth to a flame, that you want to watch the drama. See, the people who are just rising up in this consciousness, this higher thinking and learning, they will look down on people who watch these dramas play out. They will look down. Oh, look at them. They're always soaking up this and that. No, it's all part of the lessons. There was a time I watched it and enjoyed those programs. Jerry Springer, Maury Povich. You know, and sometimes I still get caught up watching things like that. And I came to a realization that it is all part of the plan. It's all part of the job of learning. Because if I don't watch those things and learn those things and say, well, I don't want to be a part of that. I want to be over here. See, there's people in your family, people you know, that are existing in what you would say a lower form of existence. I wouldn't say it's a lower form of existence, a different form of existence. Their energy level is attracted to the drama right now. But one day that frequency is gonna jump, and they're not gonna want that anymore. At what time and what stage? Who knows? At what lifetime? What reincarnation? What resurrection they're going to experience that? We don't know. See, I'm sure in my other incarnations and my other resurrections, I was doing a lot of different things. And then this existence and this current manifestation of the physical of me, that physical projection that I'm emitting from my spiritual light body, I want to do this. This is what I enjoy. This is what I chose. And see, that's what KR1 was talking about. Your real you, the real truth of you, the spiritual you is eternal, everlasting, never dies. In the current perception of how we view death, it is, how do I say this? The real you is immune from death. Now, that part of you in this existence that identifies with death, that believes in death and experiences death through watching other people's die, is attached to those ideas. Why is it attached to those ideas? Because you've been taught that. Someone said you grow old, you die, or you have accidents, you die. Someone could kill you. Something. We've been given all of these ideas of what death could give, and through what we witness through our physical eyes, through our senses, what we've taken in. And I tell you, these senses that we have are simply there to be our beacon or our early warning system to protect us. It is not the end all be all. It's our early warning system to protect us from this 3D environment. To keep this biological suit that can only survive on this plane of existence going. That's what it's for. But because ancient teachings we've been robbed of all of the ancient teachings, and we've been given this dysfunctional form of religion, we identify solely with the physical. But if you really study your mind and your consciousness, everything you do, everything you experience starts with the things you can't see, touch, or smell. It starts there. It starts in the consciousness, in the deepest part of you. See, this here, it's just, this body is just housing that light being. That's it. It's a suit. It's an atmospheric suit. That's it. Just to be here. And when this is no longer working, this is why it's temporary, because it wasn't meant to be permanent for you to be in this body. How can you be permanently in this body, be limited by this body, and get to go and experiencing all the other multiple existences that you can have? How do you get to experience that? See, there's those that are in the know want you to only identify right here. Why? Because right here, they can mine your resources. They can remind you as a resource. They can mine your labor. Make you forget about who you really are. This is why they want to feed you junk. You want to, why would they want to give us all these chemicals for food? Because it reduces your level of awareness. It reduces your level of consciousness. That's it. There's something called, it's called the 12 hang on. It's the 12 tonal. I was just studying this together. This is the. Hang on, I'm gonna go over here because I have it over here. I hope I didn't close it out. I sure did. All right, we're gonna find that. Find it. Okay, it's the 12 primary axia tonal lines. What is that? That's the 12 axia tonal lines in your body that connects you to your light body. Look that up. Let me see if I could 12 primary. And really, this is what the crucifixion is all about. Those nails in the hands or right here in the wrist and the nails in the ankles and the stab on the side is those interrupt and separate you from your light body. So when I talk about give me a second. There it is. All right. The axia A tonal lines are the points where rotating single axis flash line sequence transmission lines form the embodied seed crystal cells crossover and through each other to form 12 primary vertical flow lines in the body. Kind of sounds familiar, right? You had Jesus went and found his 12 apostles to complete his what? His ministry, complete his what? His mission of attaining ascension. When you realize those 12 apostles wasn't real and it was just 12 aspects of his consciousness or 12 primal axia tonal lines. And the whole crucifixion of putting a hole right there to separate him from the body, to interrupt. See, when you understand that the Christ story is really about you and you ascending to higher levels of consciousness, ascending to your light consciousness, to your light body, and separating yourself from the attachment to this body, this avatar, as some people might say. You see? When you realize what is real, who you really are, none of this physical stuff matters. Money, houses, cars. Yes, it's okay to enjoy all of that. But one thing you must come to realize, who are you? Who you will never feel satisfied with under any of those things until you realize who you really are, where your real power lies. Because once you take control of the idea of you, then nothing else matters. You realize money comes and flows to you easily and abundantly as you so choose it to. If money is not flowing to you like it should, then there's something you must look deep inside and figure out, why isn't it coming this way? What am I doing to reject it? What money rejection consciousness do I have right now that I can't get it, or I can't obtain that wealth that I'm looking for? Or what rejection complex do I have that's keeping me from launching my business? And let me talk about that for a second. I say this every week, and I say the same thing because I'm talking to the same people that I know have businesses that they want to launch, things that they want to do, and they still haven't launched it. They're still using the same old excuses. They're still finding reasons not to do it, not to just let it go, let that business out there. See, that's a true separation from your true self, your true power. Because you're allowing your egoic mind to trick you into thinking that this over here is more important than me fulfilling what I say is my purpose. So many of you got $1 million ideas right now. And the only thing keeping you from launching or doing $1 million idea is just taking the first step. It's the only thing. Or using that same old excuse, oh, it's not perfect yet. It's just not right. And I'm gonna keep talking about this because I want the people that who I know listen to me, who are afflicted with this condition of not taking the first step or just putting it out there. I just want them to get tired of hearing me say it and then just do it. Or they'll get tired of hearing me saying and won't listen to me no more. I don't know. But I'm gonna keep saying it because I know that you're not doing it. Now, if you want me to stop saying it, just go out there and just put it out there. It don't have to be perfect. Look at my broadcasts. They're not perfect all the time. I want them to be better. But it's not going to stop me from talking. It's not going to stop me from putting it out there. It's not going to stop me from doing what I was called to do. Remember, people don't really know exactly what's in your head. And furthermore, people really don't care what's in your head. All of that overthinking is really unnecessary because people really don't think about you that much. People think about you as much as when they need you for the most part. That's it. They're not thinking about, well, I know that brother, he probably deal with a lot of people. I wonder how he's doing. Really, genuinely wanting to know. Most people don't think like that. People only think about you for the most part as how much they can extract from you. And I'm not complaining here. I'm just saying that's what it is. And I know when I took on this job that what it will be. At some point early on when I started this, I used to get frustrated. Then the spirit it hit me and said, what the hell are you complaining about? There's so much things you could be complaining about. At least people want to talk to you and deal with you. At least you got something that you can offer. But when I look at the psychology of it all, really, that's mostly when people want to, they don't, hey man, how you doing? I just want to check in on you. Y'all don't think y'all think I just sit here and just talk all this positive stuff and I don't go through anything? No, I go through stuff too. Yeah. I deal with stuff y'all deal with. Yes. My therapy is actually doing the show. That's really what it's for. It's therapy. Because it's a time where I'm really reflecting and I'm talking and I'm digging deep and I'm really in a space where I can really see what I really have going on and I can pick it apart. So I'm really healing myself through these conversations. And some of y'all can heal y'all situation just by doing simply what I'm doing. Get on, start telling your story, start talking. Be open, be real, be truthful. Because people who are about truth will identify with you. No, I don't get hundreds of people listening to what I have to say all the time at one time. And eventually that'll come. I keep paying my dues, that will come. Y'all realize I kind of changed my mode of operations. I've changed my message over the last 3-4 years. I was solely into the whole discharge and doing all that stuff before. And I mastered that. And I have answers for you in discharge. Just go to my website, ikemail.com, and you can get all your answers answered. People are paying off mortgages through the methods that I'm showing them. But I know what's more important is this. If I could share with you how to change your mindset, you'll be able to have an abundance where you don't have to worry about a bill. When you realize the power of your consciousness and when you realize that you have all what you need right now, there's nothing lacking in your life. Only thing lacking is the thought that you already are taken care of and everything's going to be all right. That's what's lacking. That shortage of money is the symptom of the idea that you don't believe that you have enough. Those things, the negative bank account, the bounce checks, those are symptoms. That's not the problem. When I discovered what the difference was between a symptom and the actual issue, that's when I was actually able to fix my problems. One of the greatest discoveries I realized, and I was laying in my bed looking at the ceiling one time many years ago. It was probably about 14 years ago, maybe between that time. And I was sitting up worrying about a bill. How am I going to pay this bill? I didn't make enough money at the shop this week to pay this and pay that. I was just going round and round, just this whole merry-go-round, this rat race of thinking in my mind. And then a voice here, right? Then a scripture came to mind. Oh, what are you worrying about? Animals don't have to worry about nothing to eat, but somehow they eat. Birds, they tend to, and I was like, aren't we a little more sophisticated than these animals? Then I had another question. Are we really more sophisticated? Because we sit there and we worry about the wrong things. And then something said to me, everything's already paid. There's a saying in the discharge community. Everything is prepaid. All debts are discharged. Everything's paid for. You don't have nothing to worry about. And once I released that burden of worry off my consciousness, and I said, everything's taken care of, guess what? I was able to see the opportunity to go ahead and take care of that money problem that I had. See, the reason why you can't take care of your money problems, because you're looking at the symptom. You're looking at, hey, I don't have enough money. My bank account show. And you just keep looking at how much you don't have. But when I took my mind off of what I don't have and looked at what I do have and the resources that I did have, then I realized, oh, this is taken care of already. It was taken care of. Listen, your rent, your mortgage, your car payment, it's already taken care of. It's already paid. You just got to believe that. You just got to know it's already paid. What am I sitting here worrying about paying a bill? It's already paid. Remember, all of these bills and all this is a man-made construction anyway. Just like it's a man-made construction of the idea of a consciousness of someone who created this so that they can profit off of you, you can unravel that. There are solutions. But you will never see the solution if you keep looking at that wound. That wound, what I mean by the wound of a negative bank account. I don't have enough money. You're just looking at what you don't have. You're never going to fix it that way. You only fix it from coming from the place of knowing and understanding that everything is done. Is fixed. That this existence that you're in is about you overcoming one thing, and that is yourself. And what I mean specifically about overcoming yourself is overcoming these false ideas that you don't have enough. That's it. Everything's taken care of. You are the master of your world. You are the God of everything that you're experiencing. Take that. See, they had to give you a God to look away, look out there, far out there somewhere, wherever, in order for you not to see the true God. You. They had to do it. Because if they did it that way, If they give you this God out there, then you what? You become dependent. And when you become dependent, you start associating with other things that make you dependent, like government, school systems, politics. You start associating, making that your whole existence. Do you realize that most people are existing on a dependent life or dependent consciousness of something else to do it for them? That's why you have marches and riots, because they want trying to make somebody do something for them instead of them doing it for themselves. Why am I going to go out in the street and march to make somebody do right by me? No, I will do right by myself, and I don't care what they do. And we identify with this stuff. Go out there and march for this right, this right, this right. No, when you realize you already have the right and you know who you are, you don't need to march and make anybody do anything. You just go handle your business and get it done. You see? This existence is about raising yourself up from the dead. And what I mean by from the dead, just because you walk around living, breathing, and eating doesn't mean you're alive. It means you exist. Doesn't mean that you are truly living. Truly living is knowing that you are nothing more, nothing less than a divine manifestation of God. That you sit high. You have a higher purpose, higher consciousness. You have a higher existence than what you see in the mirror. That physical body. Go in the mirror and stare at yourself, stare into your eyes, and you will see. You will get a glimpse of who you truly are. You will get to see what's looking really back at you. It's not that physical body. It's a consciousness in there. It's a higher being, that all-knowing that's in there. But you have one of the great powers that we have is disassociation from the true self. Well, I'm gonna disassociate and go enjoy this existence. And what happened? We disassociated so bad that we forgot about our true existence. We became something and adopted and believed in an existence that was just something to be temporary. That's it. That's why Christ only came here 3 years of his teachings and he was out. It's temporary. And if you look at everything in this world, is temporary. Things are born and then they die. Things start off small, they grow, and then ebb and flow. Ebb and flow. It's all part of the journey, the system, the process of knowing and being able to experience every aspect of this existence. Having money, not having money, having love, not having love, knowing what all of that feels like. See, this is the feeling dimension, the touch, smell, the senses dimension. And getting to appreciate that. See, all too often we adopt ideas. Well, wow, this is no good. I don't like this. But there's a scripture. All things work for the benefit of God. What is that saying? All things work. Let's read it. Romans, I think it's it. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are to be called according to his purpose. All things. Even the thing you don't like is going to teach you something. It's going to show you who you are. And one thing I like about going through, I mean, I may not like the stuff that I go through in the moment, but then when I really sit back and I meditate on what I'm going through. And then I realized, and I said, there's a certain level of appreciation of what I'm going through, because what is it doing to me? What is it helping me see that I hadn't seen before? Because any trial or tribulation you go through is going to help you see who you really are. It's going to help you see how tough you are. It's going to help you see how forgiving you are, how compassionate you are. It's going to show you all of these things when you go through these things we call problems. It's going to help you see how egoic you are. See, and I noticed that the more I teach these subjects, the more I get challenged by them. And at one time I said, man, do I want to keep teaching? So I just want to do the coward thing and just teach something else. I don't have to deal with that. No, I'm going to keep going, because I realize at the other side of all of these things that I might run into and these problems, it's making me closer and understand my true purpose, number one, and also show you how far away I am from that higher conscious level. See, the higher you get up in your thinking, and so people are going to stop understanding you. They're not going to relate to you. And the only reason why they're not going to relate to you, they're going to think you're nuts, you're crazy, and it's okay. It's because their frequency of thinking is different from yours. And this is where, when you get up to these levels of consciousness, you got to realize that that's what it is. Don't try to fight and argue to get them to believe anything you say. Sometimes it's just better to just not say anything at all. I'm really this year, this journey that I'm taking, it's taught me that. Sometimes just sit back and watch and observe and just let it happen, and don't offer any type of educational information. Just be quiet. You know it. You know what it is. You know what it's for, and just let it be. Not everybody is ready to receive those thoughts because they're just not tuned to that frequency that you're on. It's like a radio station. Some people on country music, some people on hip hop, some people on jazz, some people on Latin music. That's all it is. Different frequency. It's nothing to judge or be upset about. They just on a different frequency. Your parents, your wife, whoever who is not agreeing with you, they're on a different frequency. The camera went blurry there for a second. Let me see. Fix that. What is going on? Why is it doing that? Maybe because I'm waving my hand too much. I tell you, boy, this technology will act up on you. Especially when you're getting in. They're trying to distract me. There we go. I fixed it. So, what I was saying, frequency. I'm just trying to help people who are trying to bring their family along and they just giving you a hard time. First of all, prophets are not honored in their own home, or people who have an understanding of something are pretty much not honored by the people that's close to them. So that's just part of the process. Second, they just not on that same frequency. You're on a different frequency, and accept that. And realize that the message that you're getting and receiving is basically for you, not for them. Man, I ain't even got to the publication 908. Will I get to it tonight? Ancestors, will I get to it? It was like, it's no big deal. I might get to it. I will. Whoa, that was strong. That means something powerful is about to come out. Whoa, sometimes it'd be like real soft, and then sometimes it'd be boom, hits. Like, whoa, what was that? Oh, Karen put her stuff in it. It says, at Above and Beyond with Karen. It's right there. Go check her out. Like her page. Follow her. Every day she's putting out content. that will encourage you. So go over there. Let's see what the comments say. I saw Tahuti L says, Hotep, bro. Happy Tuesday, Corinne. Hindsight Reddit says something he had said in a long time. Peace to the gods. Ryan says Islam. C. King Bed said peace, everyone. Discipleship Ministry said peace, brother. And Corinne says thank you. And there is her link, her handle, Above and Beyond with Karen _ Oh, that's a nice looking dog. Those are your dogs. And then it makes a happy glory Tuesday email and the whole family members. And I got the IRS letter, and 2 days later I bought a new car, and IRS been hit me with a Akeem affidavit and Dr. Ray's all-in-one rebuttal letter. Okay, cool. It's good. To master yourself is the answer to all mystery. Yes, it is. The body is your avatar. Temple Church. See, King Beg says that. Akeem, you seen my second new car bought after the IRS collection letter, and I am feeling very good about right now. Good, I did see that. Yes, sir, I did. Thank you. I'm glad things are working out for you. Just like Christ said that it was your faith that made you whole, not that it was him, but you that healed yourself. Yet, what he's saying is whenever Christ healed someone, the allegory in the Bible that talks about healing, and he said it was your faith. See, that means that it was your idea of your healing that healed you. See, the thing that afflicts you is the idea of the thing that is afflicting you, how you perceive it, what you believe in. If you believe in affliction, you will have affliction. If you believe in healing, you will have healing. If you believe in prosperity, you will have prosperity. If you believe in poverty, you will have that. What do you believe, as Reverend Ike says? Where is your faith? Because some of us are talking, I'm a millionaire, but then have a doubt right after that. They'll say things, well, when is it going to come? Right there, that shows doubt in faith, in your faith, and it will never show up within that space because you're talking two sides of the mouth. It says you're basically lukewarm. You're saying one thing, thinking another, you're lukewarm. You're not here or there. It's better to be over extremely negative or either extremely positive than to be in between, because that's where the real torture is called purgatory. It's better to know I'm over here negative than to be over and then kind of be in between, because you get, why is my camera acting up like this? So pick a side. Either believe or don't believe. I'm not here to force you to believe anything. I'm just here to show you. If you want something, if you know you desire to have something, you need to see yourself as if you already have it. And I know that's a hard concept for people to accept, because we're so used to, when it comes physical, oh, it's here, but never realize how it got there. What really made it appear? Your thoughts all before that. So those problems you experiencing, it was your thoughts. I can look at problems I may be having, and I look at it, and if I'm being real honest with myself, it's because I had a thought and worry about that, and it showed up. No words about getting to the main message. The current message is what is needed. Yeah, I appreciate that. Everything that you're talking about today, including the rock star, we were talking about it earlier today, Karen. Yeah. I don't know why I pulled that video up, but I said I need to give him something different. I give him Reverend Ike all the time. I need to give him somebody who's from the hip hop community that's talking the same thing. Do y'all realize hip hop is a very spiritual thing? I'm not talking about not this current stuff they talking about. I'm talking about, I mean, no, well, let me change that. Even this current stuff is spiritual, but it's a negative spiritual message because it's trying to weigh on your lower self, the current state of rap music now. But years ago, when we had guys like KRS-One, Public Enemy, you know, those types of rappers were talking about self enlightenment. Even your groups like NWA, even though they spoke on violence, if you really listen to their words, they were talking about getting out and being treated fairly. Even Queen Latifah at one time, she was a very conscious and militant rapper. Then all of a sudden she changed to this softy. When she got mainstream, it made her change who she was. But if you go back and listen to her old stuff, she had a rap. She talked about unity, UNITY. Then she talked about being called a B and how she straightened the dude out for calling her a B. But now it's a normal thing. See, those 80s rappers and partly into the 90s, they were really conscious. And then they came out with the gangster rap to overshadow that. Because what was happening in those 80s and part of those 90s, we were becoming really conscious at that time. And if you look at the educational level, a lot of people were going to school, getting their degrees and stuff like that because they were watching stuff like the Cosby Show. Education became very important again for our people. And then they brought out gangster rap. And they brought out, and then after gangster rap, it was I would call stripper rap. Most of the rap songs about strip clubs. You see, but it's all part of spirituality because you have a lower form of spirituality and you have a higher form of spirituality. But it's all spiritual. Just depends on what side of the spectrum it is. Everybody think when you say spiritual, it's over here and it's just this higher thing. No, it's all, it could be this or it could be that. You see? My daughter's texting me. She's out with her friends. There was a time when I did this shit. Oh, I typed the I typed the wrong. Hello. There was a time my daughter used to just call me every day on the show. Now she's here with me. She's hanging out with her friends and saying what time I need to pick her up. Things never stay the same. Spirituality can be either negative or positive. And here's the thing. If you look at things, really step back and take judgment off everything, you need a little negative and you need positive. Current runs from a negative and positive polarity. You won't have electricity without it. There's a negative and a positive side of it. You won't have life without it. You won't have true fulfillment without the negative and the positive because you have to understand what you don't like in order to appreciate what you do like. Because if you just gave someone something good all the time, they think that's just normal. And hey, this is it. That's why you have so many ungrateful people. When you just give them something good all the time. That's why you have ungrateful children. They don't know what it's like not to have. See, they don't know how to appreciate that because it's normal. That's their normal way of existing. But when you get someone who has a little bit of dose of this and a little bit of dose of that, they know the difference and they can appreciate that. They can truly be thankful. Movie set it off. Oh, yes. People bringing up some groups that I couldn't mention. X-Clan, Poor Righteous Teachers. Yeah. I'm sure there's other ones that who was another one that had some conscious rap? Who some rappers? Even Eric B and Rakim had some very conscious raps. Um, who else? Tribe Called Quest at times had some. I think most rappers in those times throughout their rap career they had conscious raps. You know. So money is spiritual. It is. It definitely is. Money is spirit. Being prosperous is a spiritual. It's a good thing because you can do so much good when you have a lot of money. You can help a lot of people. Brand Nubian, there you go. People just bring it up to there. We reminiscing on some rappers. All right, before I have to go, because I will have to go pick up my daughter pretty soon. But let's talk about this publication 908. And I'm just gonna read a few sections on it. Let me share the screen. Ancestor said I could move on now. I can move on. This is the Bankruptcy Tax Guide publication 908. And it's really telling you what tax return. Now, if anybody's ever been in a bankruptcy proceeding, which I have a couple of times. First time I was in it 2005, around 2005, shortly after I bought my first home and bills were getting too much and we filed bankruptcy. We did a 13. And when I don't recall the lawyer telling me I had to do a tax return on the bankruptcy estate. And then when I'm reading this publication, tax returns have to be done on the bankruptcy estate. So who's doing it? And what kind of money they get? Why do I gotta do a tax return on a bank? And not the individual social, the debtor. They're talking about a separate tax return. And depends on which bankruptcy you file. See, too many times we are listening to people without reading. Reading is good. Get in the habit of reading something. When somebody shares something with you and they give you a publication or information to, go look it up. They always do that. Go look that up. You can go read that for yourself. Go look it up and verify. Don't just take their word for it. Because a lot of times they'll say that because they know people are not going to look it up. That's why I take it upon myself to look it up. And when I teach it, I show you what I read. Because I want to set myself apart from the people that just tell you, just go look it up. You know why they tell y'all to just go look it up and don't show y'all what's really going on? Because they ain't really read it themselves. They telling you to go look it up to skirt their responsibility and try to give you information that they haven't really studied themselves. See, I always know when someone is not really teaching honestly. Because when I go read and compare it to what they say, it's always something different. That's why I encourage you guys to read for yourself. Don't believe me. Don't take my word. But I'm going to read this stuff right now. And I'm going to show you some things that you didn't know about bankruptcy. That's like, we're going to make you say, man, is this really about how you discharge? If you really want to go and do some discharge. So let's read this thing. And look at future developments. What's new? Reminders, introduction, bankruptcy code tax compliance requirements, tax returns due for periods ending before bankruptcy filing chapter 13 cases, tax returns due after the bankruptcy filing. Now, in the chapter 13, they want you to have all your individual tax returns done. That's on the 1040 before they will let it go through. If you don't have them done, you're not going to be able to file. They want you to really be indebted to the IRS or the Treasury. Tax return after bankruptcy filing. See, you notice how they wrote this? Tax returns due for periods ending before the bankruptcy filing chapter 13 cases. That's 3. Then it says tax return due after bankruptcy filing. It's like they're saying the same thing twice, but they're not saying the same thing twice. They're showing you that chapter 13s need tax returns done before this. Because a chapter 13, the debtor is not seen as a separate entity. But in the other ones, like 11, they're seen as something separate. So if you are a foreigner to the United States, which bankruptcy should you file if you're going to file it? Well, let's see. Let's just hit this 3. What it says. Let's just read this because it's always interesting to read this stuff. A lot of times, well, that don't apply to me, but I like to read it because in there is little clues. It says tax returns due for periods ending before the bankruptcy filing in Chapter 13 cases. The Bankruptcy Code requires Chapter 13 debtors to file all required tax returns for tax periods ending within 4 years of the debtor's bankruptcy filing. All such federal tax returns must be filed with the IRS before the date first set for the first meeting of the creditors. The debtor may request the trustee to hold the meeting open for an additional 120 days to enable the debtor to file the returns, or until the date of returns are due under an automatic IRS extension. If later, after notice and hearing, the bankruptcy court may extend the period for another 30 days. So you can get a 6-month hold off just in this chapter 13, just so you can get your returns filed. Did you know that? People be rushing. You got to have it by this. This is 120 days, 6 months. So that means let's just say you wanted to chew that chapter 13, you didn't file your tax returns, right? And that's an issue. You could hold off your debts for 120 days, 6 months to get this stuff taken care of. Very timely filed returns can prevent confirmation of Chapter 13 plan and result in either dismissal of the Chapter 13 case or conversion to a Chapter 7 case. So they're saying 6 months. Really, you could be playing around with this for almost a year. Right? This is just this little side note. I'm not saying that's the way you need to go. I'm just showing you what their rules are saying. It's very important to read these rules. Now, okay. Individual debtors should use their home address when filing Form 1040 or 1040 SR with the IRS. Returns should not be filed in care of the trustee's address. Interesting note there. In care of. All right. Let's go to tax returns due after bankruptcy filing. Tax returns due after bankruptcy filing. This is over here. For debtors filing bankruptcies under chapters 7, 11, 12, and 13, the Bankruptcy Code provides that if the debtor does not file a tax return that becomes due after the commencement of the bankruptcy case or obtain an extension for filing return before the due date, the taxing authority may request that the bankruptcy court either dismiss the case or convert the case to a case under another chapter of the bankruptcy code. If the debtor does not file the required return or obtain an extension within 90 days after the request is made, the bankruptcy court must dismiss or convert the case, right? But see, they convoluted that. They put all the bankruptcies, but let's read the next paragraph. See, IRS is very, I don't know what word I want to use. They're very confusing sometimes on how they word some of this stuff. Tax returns and payment of taxes in Chapter 11 cases. This is specifically a Chapter 11 case. The Bankruptcy Code provides that a Chapter 11 debtor's failure to timely file tax returns and pay taxes owed after the date of the order for relief, the bankruptcy petition date, is a voluntary case, is cause for dismissal of the Chapter 11 case, conversion to Chapter 7 case, or appointment of a Chapter 11 trustee. So basically, if you don't file, they will either convert it to a Chapter 7 or appoint a trustee here. Don't say they can, it's a cause for dismissal, but doesn't mean that they will. They'll probably do it a Chapter 7 or get a trustee. Disclosure of debtor's return information to the trustee in bankruptcy cases filed under Chapter 7 or 11 by individuals, the debtor's income tax returns for the year the bankruptcy case begins and for earlier years are, upon written request, open to inspection by or disclosure to the trustee. If the bankruptcy case was not voluntary, disclosure cannot be made before the bankruptcy court has entered an order for relief unless the court rules that disclosure is needed for determining whether relief should be ordered. In bankruptcy cases other than those of individuals following under Chapter 7 or 11, the debtor's income tax returns for the current and prior years are, upon written request, open to inspection by or disclosure to the trustee, but only if the IRS finds that the trustee has a material interest that will be affected by the information on the return. Material interest is generally defined as financial or monetary interest. Material interest isn't limited to the trustee's responsibility to file a return on behalf of the bankruptcy estate. All right, so that's just telling you what you need to file. Let's skip. Let's read individuals in Chapter 7 or 11. When an individual debtor files for bankruptcy under Chapter 711 of the Bankruptcy Code, the bankruptcy estate is treated as a new taxable entity separate from the individual taxpayer. So here we go. So if you do a Chapter 7 or 11, it's a separate entity. If you do it as a 13, it's not. That's why you don't want to do 13s. You want to do 11s. 7's in extreme cases, but 11 is what you want to do. The bankruptcy estate in a Chapter 7 case is represented by a trustee. This is why you don't want a 7, because they're going to appoint a trustee. The trustee is appointed to administer the estate and liquidate any non-exempt assets. In Chapter 11 cases, the debtor often remains in control of the assets as a debtor in possession and acts as the bankruptcy trustee. However, the bankruptcy court for cause may appoint a trustee if such appointment is in the best interest of the creditors and the estate. Now, I know that last one where it said creditors, your creditors come in. Remember, most of these bankruptcy proceedings, no creditors ever show up to the meetings of the creditors. The only reason why they even know about your creditors is because you put it on there. You let them know who the creditor is. You list them. But most, even when you list them, they don't show up to that meeting. But they're supposed to. So if they don't show up, what does that mean? They're not showing up to show as a true party interest. Do you really have to pay them anything? You can file a dispute. They didn't show up. During the Chapter 711 bankruptcy, the debtor continues to file an individual tax return on 1040 or 1040 SR. The bankruptcy trustee files a Form 1041 for the bankruptcy estate. However, when a debtor in a Chapter 11 bankruptcy case remains a debtor in possession, the debtor must file both a Form 1040 or 1040 SR individual return and a Form 1041 estate return for the bankruptcy estate. This is why most bankruptcy courts try to steer you away from Chapter 11. They'll tell you, oh, that's for a business. Now, I'm reading this. It never says that a Chapter 11 is for a business. And I've read the statutes. They don't say that. But they always try to say only businesses can file. But what is the social anyway? Isn't it a business? It's a trust. A trust, by definition, is a business. It's a different form. It's a trust, but it's a business. It gets treated as a business by the IRS. Okay? So, what I'm reading here is showing you that, first of all, you need to be following a Chapter 11 if you're going to do that. And you need to do a 1041. Now, when I learned this and they were telling me oh, go do a chapter 11. No one ever told me that I needed, if I'm going to do a chapter 11, that I need to turn around and do those 1041 tax returns. No one said that. And that's another thing. This is why most courts steer you towards the other bankruptcies, because they get to control the estate. The trustee gets to control it. Now imagine, there's a reason why I read this. Because when we do our trust tax returns, we do 1041s, right? To be able to recoup. Now, when you look at this, it's almost the same thing. It's just done in a bankruptcy court. Now, this is called discharge. The one that when you do your bankruptcy, they discharge. That's discharge. See, all of this stuff of discharging debt outside of the recoupment process that I've been teaching over the last 3 years, and these other methods, they're irrelevant. They don't work because simply they're not following rules. Here's a rule on how to do it in the bankruptcy court. And it's showing you what you need to do, the 1040s, and you also need to do the 1041s. Where if I'm doing 1041s, then there's a section in here on information returns too. Let me go find it for you. I got caught up in reading something else that I didn't highlight what I wanted to read for you. Yeah, here we go. It's right here. I think, yeah. Tax reporting. Here it is. Let's see. This is a lot to read here. Allocation of income and credits on information returns and required statement returns for individuals under Chapter 11 cases. In Chapter 11 cases, when an employer issues a Form W-2 reporting all of the debtor's wages, salary, or other compensation for a calendar year, and a portion of the earnings represent post-petition services includable in the estate's gross income, the Form W-2 amounts must be allocated between the estate and the debtor. The debtor in possession or trustee must allocate the income amount reported in box 1 and the income tax withheld reported in box 2 between the debtor and the estate. These allocations must reflect that the debtor's gross earnings from post-petition services and gross income from post-petition property are generally includable in the estate's gross income and not the debtor's gross income. The debtor and trustee must use a simple percentage method to allocate income and income tax withheld. The same method must be used to allocate the income and withheld tax. Now, the reason why I read that, because it said information returns. What are information returns? 1099As, 1099Bs, 1099 OIDs, 1096s. Those are information returns. Now, of course, they're not going to break down to you all of the information returns. They're just giving you examples right now of one type of information return, and that's related to W-2 income. They're not talking about bank deposits. They're not talking about cancellations of debts. And remember, how you're trying to get debts canceled, right? What is a bankruptcy all about? Canceling debt. So why wouldn't you do a 1099-C? Let's read this one. Notice the person is required to file information returns. See, this is when they get real vague on information, and you have to be able to read between the lines. It says, notice the person. It was real specific about W-2 information. It says, notice the person is required to file information returns in individual Chapter 11 cases within a reasonable time after the commencement of Chapter 11 bankruptcy case. After the commencement, it says within a reasonable time. So that's any time after you could do this. The trustee or debtor in possession, who that would be you, should provide notification of the bankruptcy estate's EIN to all persons or entities that are required to file information returns for the bankruptcy estate's gross income, gross proceeds, or other types of reportable payments. Gross proceeds. Listen. Let me highlight this. Let's just start with this. We ain't gonna talk about it. We talking about the debtor in possession, that which is you. It says right there, debtor in possession should provide notification of the bankruptcy estate's EIN to all persons or entities that are required to file information returns for the bankruptcy estate's gross income, gross proceeds, or other types of reportable payments. Now, 1099Bs, that's the bank deposits, right? And you know, banks are supposed to do that. They're supposed to file that. What's being deposited in this bank? And they don't. So you do, in my method, you do a form and you send them a copy of it, right? So it just showed you what you're supposed to be doing. And it ain't very vague. They're not telling you what information returns you're supposed to be filing. Because it says up here, file information returns other than Form W-2 wage tax statements. Notice the persons required to file. Then it says, within a reasonable amount of time after the commencement of a Chapter 11 bankruptcy case, debtor in possession should provide notification of bankruptcy estate. How do you notify them with the EIN? Through the information return, because the EIN is going to be on it. Oh, okay. Now, in the Chapter 11, let's go to the next part. The trustee or debtor in possession should not, however, provide the EIN to a person or entity filing Form W-2 reporting the debtor's wages or other compensation, as Section 1115 of the Bankruptcy Code does not affect the determination of what constitutes wages for purpose of federal income tax withholding or FICA. See notice 2006-83. An employer should continue to report all wage, income, and tax withholding both pre-petition and post-petition on Form W-2 to the debtor under the debtor's social security number. So what they're saying, if you work in your bankruptcy estate, your income shall not be provided on a 1041. It should be on a 1040. Separate estate. Separate return. The debtor in Chapter 11 case isn't required to file a new Form W-4 with an employee solely because this debtor filed a Chapter 11 case and the post-petition wages are included in the estate's income and not the debtor's income. However, a new Form W-4 may be necessary if the debtor is no longer entitled to claim the same number of allowances previously claimed because certain deductions or credits now belong to the estate. Wow. It's saying certain deductions or what? What did it say? Let's look at that. Certain estate's income, post-petition, what was that? Because certain deductions or credits, let's not talk about it. Certain deductions or credits now belong to the estate. So they're saying deduction. What is a credit? What is a deduction? Let's talk about credits. What happens when you create a debt? It is a debt. It's a deficit, but you need a credit to offset that or set off that debted. Let me say it again. You need a credit to offset a what? A debt. I'm gonna stop right there. I didn't say enough. That's enough. That's enough. That is enough. Y'all go read that Form 908. Go read it, baby. Go read it. There's your whole discharge right there. Right there. There it is. Right in your face. And now before I shut off or go off the air, I apologize for last week. I didn't do a show Wednesday or Thursday or Sunday because I was preparing to go to New York. And I need a little time off too. But I came back strong. I gave y'all something to read. 908. Go read that. Go read it. As I was reading, I was like becoming more aware. I read it before, but I came more aware of some things. I was like, what? It says certain what? Credits? Let me read that again. Certain deductions or credits now belong to the estate. What are these deductions or credits that belong to the estate that you couldn't normally do on a 1040? All right, people. All right. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to respond to my daughter. I think I said a mouthful. I think I said a mouthful already. I think I gave y'all enough to think about. Some of you guys who wanted some answers about how to do the discharge and bankruptcy, I think I gave y'all a lot. Gave y'all some spiritual information. Man, that's some really good information. I'm sitting here blowing myself that the ancestors pointed me down. Like I was looking at this like last week, and then when I read this on the air, it's just a whole different overstanding came to me. And I didn't even read the whole thing. Anybody got a question? Comment? Hey, make sure y'all press the like buttons and keep sharing my content. Do that. Do that. Share. If you think this would be beneficial to someone, share it to them directly so they can get a glimpse, of what's really going on out there. And look and check out my new video I put up about the W-4 form. I put up another form. And I got some things I want to do with that W-4 nonsense that we're dealing with. And as a matter of fact, I was looking through my archives and I found some files on how getting out of the W-4 rat race. Then I'm going to start putting up in my membership. So, all right. Nobody got a question? Hey, I'm on Telegram, right? On Telegram. You guys can actually listen and actually comment on Telegram. Let me see if I can get the link for it. Copy link. There it is. There's a link. Instagram, where y'all can actually talk to me. Well, I'm not on Blog Talk. I might open up Blog Talk again. I haven't done it in so long that I've gotten out of practice with it. I would have gotten rid of Blog Talk, but I got so much content up there, they won't let me get rid of it because I have to delete that off. So I want to somehow get all that off and before I shut down Blog Talk all the way. There's no need for it right now. I appreciate Blog Talk because it was my starting point. So there's a link to Telegram if you want to jump on and talk to me. I'll give it a few minutes. Because I have a few minutes before I got to go. All right, what's up? What's up? See what's out there. And y'all hear the music, that means it's almost over. So when I'm ready to shut it down, the music gets louder. So put your questions in that comment box. Or I'm out. Hey, also, if y'all want to support, there's the link. $Akeem L for Cash App. Zelle, Akeem at protonmail.com. Every donation counts. It helps me keep things running. And I can continue to deliver these messages. So since no one got much to say, let's see. I'm going to have to see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, and another thing. If you got student loan problems, Akeem.com, I got the fix. They're trying to make y'all pay that money back. Why pay money back that you really don't owe? I know you believe in your conscience that you did owe, but once you understand how this thing works, most of y'all don't owe a damn dime to these people. But y'all just happily giving up your money because you believe that. But I'm going to show you through the webinar that you really don't owe them a dime. And you need to be making them prove that you owe them something. And guess what? They can't prove it. They can't prove it. They can't prove you owe anything because no one can show up with firsthand knowledge that you did this or you even took it out. All right? So go there, Akeem.com, click the webinar seminars tab. There is the webinar. Oh, and the eliminate lowercase is a coupon. It's gonna get you $300 off. I'm putting it in the chat. It gets you $300 off. There's only a few of those coupons left, so get on there quick and get it. And that's gonna be the only discount. All right, there it is. Coupon code eliminate all lowercase. Get that. The new National Passport, American National Passport IRS edition, showing you how to go after them when they don't give you a passport because you owe IRS debt or even child support. It's on there. I give you all the game on that one. Go get it. All right. Oh, and I am going to be setting up, I think, a 2 or 3 day session or challenge dealing with I'm not sure what I want to do it on. IRS debt. It's going to be IRS debt. If you owe $50,000 or more, IRS debt, a challenge on that and how we can get around all of that and take care of that. I might include IRS debt and student loan all together, a 3-day challenge where I will teach for each day for a couple of hours a day, 2 to 3 hours a day, and take questions on those subjects. Okay. All right. And Maxim says, great show, Akeem. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate your donations too. Are we watching a new movie called The Sound of Freedom right now? Okay. All right, bro. All right, let's go back to Telegram. Alonzo Swain, I see you on there. Do you have something to say? There is a little thing you hit. If you want to talk, I open up your mic. Alonzo Swain, if you're listening, you want something to say or have a comment, I can take it right now. Just raise your hand. I think it's like a little thing, little person looking thing. You hit it and it'll let me know you want something to say. But I guess you don't. It says you're listening. I got to get people used to this platform and talk about it more. On July the 30th also, so he said he wanted to talk. There we go. Allow to speak. There we go. All right, unmute yourself, Alonzo Swain.
Hey, what's going on, King?
What's going on? How you doing?
Nah, I'm new to this Telegram thing, man, but I've been following you forever.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work, man. I think I might be following you a little too close, man.
Why? What's going on? I hope it's.
Jumped into the trucking game too, man.
Oh, you got in the trucking game? How's it going for you?
I got into the trucking game, man.
How's it going?
Look, I'm the guy that I was telling you a while ago, a couple of years ago. You did a live Zoom on the foreclosure and how to go into and read your state statutes and codes.
Right.
And I was able to flip mine back in 2019, man. So I'm standing on top. Your word is your. I got to give it to you. I've been following you longer than that, so I ain't gonna go back to the old stuff where we was with all the other guys.
Yeah.
But I've been following.
I'm gonna go back and revisit a lot of that teachings because there was some truth there. So I have to go back to bring it forward. So I'm gonna go back. So I got it, but that means that required me listening to old shows and remembering. I was digging through all my computers. I still have a lot of the old files and stuff. So I'm gonna go through that and start piecing it together again. I'm gonna go back. I got to go back to the beginning to bring it forward. Yeah. So
I just want to say I appreciate you, bro. Keep it up.
All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a supporter. All right, brother. Yeah. Peace. All right. All right. That's good. See, we have one person on. The more people can get on, just get on Telegram. The link's there. I'll put it again. Keep that link. This is always going to be the same link. Keep the link. That's the same link that's going to bring you to the page. Record that link. Join the channel and become a member because it will alert you when I set up a broadcast. All right? So keep that in mind. I do have a Rumble account. I do have one. I just don't use it a lot. I need to that's where I'm gonna start putting my videos that I know will get shut down over here. I'll put them on Rumble and other platforms. Like I'm gonna go in on those channels. All right. Let's see. All right, y'all. I'm gonna call it a night. I'll see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I hope everyone have and be safe out there. It's 4th of July, a lot of rat-a-tat-tat stuff. Sometimes people disguise their gunshots with that. Just be careful out there. Enjoy your time, whatever you're cooking out, doing whatever. And remember, we were always independent. We just believed that someone's had us under their thumb or whatever you want to call it. All right. With that being said, peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all.